I can't see that.
Just look at the camera and everybody else wants to know.
That is fun to see. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Samhain. This is one of my favorite holidays. And tonight we're gonna learn a little bit about the roots, traditions, and the lores and myths of Samhain, and kind of compare them to Wicca and Halloween as we know it. I'm going to start with the poem. The storm winds rush through the fields and hiss through the dead grasses, howl at the edge of the house and rattle at the windows, and stir the bare black rose to scratch and twist against the dark sky. The trees seem ragged, few tattered leaves clinging to branches like dead sticks, clattering dryly and sharp, chill winds. Death's miraculous. The glow of the moon peaks and hides behind the eerily stark limbs, sailing the lengthening night, huge and bright, clear queen of the skies. It is her time now. She's suitably attended by brilliant courtiers of stars, flashing and winking on the dark velvet of infinite outer space, often visible now that the sun's brilliance can't hide them for long. The birds have all flown to their winter homes. Only the toughest remain, the crows, ravens, stellar jays, birds that feed on winter-killed flesh. The gardens and orchards lie empty and put to bed, clear and blank as a slate awaiting next year's changes. The last of the harvest is brought in, shared, preserved, and stored in the cool rooms. Anything remaining after this day belongs to dark Hecate and her wild creatures. The joyful colors of life are reduced to basics: grays, browns, blacks. Only the gourds retain their brightness to cheer the eye. Just a while longer. While the days may hold a faint breath of warmth, the mornings and evenings are frosty and crisp. The earth begins to freeze, and life huddles deep and still within her bosom, hunkered down, awaiting rebirth. Frogs roll thick and eerie. Mist veil the ground like drifting spirits, transforming the ordinary and the known into mystery, evoking otherworldly sensations and deep primal tensions. It's a strange between the world state, the liminal zone between wake and sleep, life and death, the long, poised, indrawn breath just before the year's final sigh. This is descent into mystery, the unknown, the inner realms. This is the season of the sacred dark, the star goddess in the purest form we can know her. Samhain.
Very nice.
So, Samhain has been celebrated for we don't know how long, because the early pagans did not have any written, they didn't write down their lores, their celebrations and their rituals. So we don't really know how far back it goes, but we do know that it was celebrated well before the 9th century, because it was mentioned in the earliest old Irish literature, dated from the 9th century, and mentioned as it was mentioned in the earliest Irish literature dated from the 9th century as one of 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals, also known as fire festivals. These were celebrated during the course of the year of the wheel, which at that time was divided only into 2 cycles: the light half, symbolized by fertility, energy, energetic activity and bounty. And the dark hat, symbolized with death and rebirth, rest, introspection, and planning. Now, I'm sure you all know the 4 fire festivals are in bulk, February 1st, Beltane, which is the absolute opposite of Samhain, on May 1st, Lunasa at August 1st, and Samhain, the 4th and last of these seasonal festivals, is often considered the most significant. And that's November 1st. Each of these festivals is the midpoint between the solstices and the equinoxes. Beltane is a festival of celebrating life, just the opposite of why we are here tonight. Samhain is a festival honoring the dead, the transition of rebirth through death. Samhain translates literally to summer's end. It signifies the beginning and welcoming of the dark half of the wheel, as we know it, winter. It is when the cattle and the livestock were brought down from the summer grazing fields to the winter fields and culled for the winter. It also is the end of the harvest and celebrated, and preparations for winter begin. But most significantly, it is a time of honoring those who have gone before. It was widely celebrated in Ireland, Scotland, Isle of Man, Wales, and probably for most of Britain. Samhain is observed on November 1st. However, pagans start and end their days at sundown. So the celebration of Samhain always began on October 31st. In some traditions, they would start on October 31st and last well into the next day. Some traditions, they lasted 3 days. There's even one area where it lasted, they grouped it with another festival, or something like that. And it was a week-long festival, 3 days before Samhain, and then 3 days after Samhain. Grand old time, of course, a lot of eating and drinking and merriment was enjoyed by all. Some traditions we were familiar with, but Samhain being a fire festival, bonfires are a must. There's always fires for cleansing and purifying and just honoring the time of year. One of the traditions that communities put much emphasis on was for each home's hearth to be extinguished just before the Samhain celebration or festival. And upon leaving at the festival's end, each resident would take a torch lit by the communal bonfire and take it home to relight the hearth of their home, thus signifying the unity of the community and building a bond, knowing that they're all there for each other through the harshness of the winter. Jack-o'-lanterns, costumes, trick-or-treat, mischief night, these are all the modern day activities associated with Halloween. But they are all rooted in how the ancient Celtics celebrated Samhain. We are familiar with the carved pumpkins as decorations for Halloween, right? Well, originally, jack-o'-lanterns were carved of turnips, something we learned last week. And usually had a candle carried inside. They were carried not only to light the way, but also to ward off any spirits with mischievous or malevolent intents. That's because the veil or threshold between the world This world and the other world is believed to be thinnest at Samhain. This makes it possible for spirits and souls of the dead to come through into this world. Those who celebrate Samhain often have feasts and invite their deceased loved ones to come and feast with them, setting a place at the table. Jack-o'-lanterns were also put in the windows and around the perimeter of the house, both to protect and ward off from unwelcome spirits, and to act as a beacon for those invited. Some cultures would carve ugly, really grotesque faces in their turnips and place them all along the edge of the forest or woodlands, basically leading back into the interior of the woodlands, in hopes of protecting the children from Cernunnos. Some myths call Cernunnos the god of the changelings, who was believed to roam the world at Samhain looking for newborn babies and young children to abduct and replace with a changeling. They say the jack-o'-lanterns were meant, some say they were meant to scare Cernunnos. Others say they were merely meant to confuse and disorient him and make him go the wrong way. Either way, they kept him at bay, and the baby is safe. Does anybody know what a changeling is?
Yes.
I figured you would. Well, for those who don't know, a changeling is a creature that is swapped for a human baby. And they usually grow up to be monsters and fiends and turn around and kill their mother. Which is why you don't want a changeling. Here's how the jack-o'-lantern began. Does anybody know the legend of the jack-o'-lantern?
I know one of them.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell one. It's been told many different ways. I kind of just took all of them and put it into one to make it short. As legend has it, on Samhain, the devil goes about the earth looking for souls he might corrupt, and claim. And once he came upon a man called Stingy Jack, who was definitely a bit of an imbiber, and was definitely told a bit tall tales, quite a few tall tales. But he was likable and charming, and the devil figured he'd sit and have a drink. He sat and had a drink with him and knew immediately that Jack's soul would one day be his. Old Stingy Jack, he too recognized who his drinking buddy was and decided to wager the devil for the next round of drinks. So he said to the devil. Of course, the devil laughed and bragged that he couldn't be beat by anything by a mere mortal. Jack looked around, spotted a tree about 25 feet tall, and he said to the devil, I don't think you're so great and powerful. I bet you couldn't even get to the top of that tree in one leap. Without hesitation, the devil walks to the base of the tree, and with one spring, is dancing on the very tops of the trees. Jack immediately rips off a cross that he was wearing under his shirt and hangs it up on the highest branch he can reach. It's a cross that his mother gave him, but that's another story. He hangs it on the tree as high as he could reach, effectively trapping the devil up a tree. Seeing this enrages the devil, who berates Jack and threatens him. If Jack knows he's won, he knows the devil cannot pass the cross, and so bargains with the devil not only for the next round of drinks, but that the devil must promise not to take Jack's soul should Jack die within the next 10 years. Deal, says the devil. And Jack removes the cross, the devil descends, pays for a drink, and leaves in a huff. Years go by. About 9 years later, Stingy Jack dies. So he immediately heads to heaven. He gets there, where he was just as immediately turned away because of his sinful lifestyle. So what other choice does he have? He then went to hell, where the devil greeted him and laughed in his face and sneered at him, reminding Jack of his promise. I can't take your soul. You made me promise that. Jack is now confused. What am I supposed to do? Where am I to go? The devil looks at him and sneers, go back to where you came. Jack says, how will I ever find my way in the dark? With that, the devil tosses him a burning ember from the hearts of hell. May you wander the in-between for all eternity with nothing but an ember to light your way. Stingy Jack found a turnip, carved it out, took the ember inside to light the way, and has been seen roaming the dark ever since. Story of Jackal. One of many, I'm sure. Of course, Halloween would not be the same without costumes and trick-or-treating. Ancient pagans also participated in this. They called it guising and mumming. Both guising and mumming involved wearing costumes and camouflage as part of the celebration. Mumming included putting on little plays in the centers of the town. They would put on little plays or skits performed by the locals to celebrate the season. While guising, people would dress up in costume, sometimes just putting their clothes on inside out, or putting on costumes to emulate spirits that are believed to be roaming about. And guising, they would go door to door, reciting, they would go to the door in costume, reciting poems, odes, limericks, or threatening mischief, all in exchange for food for the communal feast or firewood for the communal fire. The costumes were worn to protect the people and repel and dissuade the spirits' interest in them, as they were mumming in the streets or went guising door to door, or even traveling to and from the festival. In some areas, hobby horses were also used as part of the celebration. Either their hanging, meaning white horse, or the Welsh had the Murray Lwyd, which was the gray horse. They were all added to the guising and the mumming. And while guising and mumming still seems to be taking place these days, I'm not aware of hobby horses having taken off as a Halloween tradition, except of course as an accessory to cowboy, cowgirl costumes.
And in Birch's world.
And in Birch's world, but as a rule, I don't think they ever made it to the Halloween tradition. Since the veil is so thin at this time, not only do the dead have access to our world, but so do the gods and the earth spirits, whether friendly or not. Many of the people would make sweets and small cakes to leave outside on doorsteps, or at gates or the edges of their property, or take them to the festival as offerings during ritual to show their gratitude to the gods and spirits, and ask for their blessings in the coming year. Of course, those who left offerings would be rewarded with good fortune, and those who did not leave an offering would have mischief oozed upon them. It's easy to see the correlation between these traditions and the modern traditions of Halloween. Samhain is also considered ideal for divination. The ancient Celtics used apples, as in apple bobbing, which did carry on, although we bob for apples for different reasons than divination these days. They also use hazelnuts and a lot of other methods of divination. The modern day Wiccan is more likely to use tarot cards, runes, and other methods that really weren't available to the Celtics at that time. While Wicca is patterned mostly along Celtic paganism, it also draws from many other sources, including Judaism's Kabbalah and other pagan paths. So that's why Wicca doesn't quite jive with all of the Celtic and Druid traditions that we know of. At this time, pagans, they like to celebrate the gods and whatnot, gods and goddesses. At this time of year, the three main god forms, the corn god, the green man, the sun god, they are gone from this world. They are dead, yet they are sleeping and gestating within the mother, awaiting their rebirth. If you are to celebrate the gods, if you wanted to celebrate the gods in this season, they are the gods of the dead. Manan Maclair, Shonan, Hades, Osiris, Anubis, those are the gods that you would celebrate at this time of year. Of course, any and all of the crone goddesses can be honored at this time. However, it is Hecate who is the main goddess of this festival. It is Hecate who rules. Hecate, the reaper, who is called Queen of the Witches. She who lives without boundaries and beyond restrictions. She is the goddess of the gateway between the worlds. Likewise, she is present when we come into this world, and she is present when we leave it. Oh, yeah, here it is. No, the symbols of Samhain, if you want to get into it and celebrate as a pagan. The colors are brown or orange. Black and red are also acceptable. Bats are the shamanic symbols, and they represent transformation. Transformational journey to the underworld and back. Owls, symbolizing infinite wisdom and knowing all secrets, past, present, and future. And owls is also one of Hecate's familiars. Black cats, lanterns, cauldrons, brooms, crescent moons, pomegranates. They're all things that you can use in your celebration. And that's about it. Any questions? Any comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you ask them if they can hear well on the other side?
So, do you have any questions, Leah, Ann, or Kimberly? You can unmute yourself and chat.
I'm good, thanks.
Can you hear okay?
Leah's
I
good.
can hear fine. Yeah, it was a little echoey in the background, but that's because nothing is on the walls. But Yeah, it was okay.
All right, so I'm going to lower the lights a little to see if you can see well enough to follow up with our meditation next. Guys, let me know.
It was a little echoey, but I could hear mostly. Thank you. It's Kimberly.
So can you see well enough to take part in the meditation?
I can see. This is Ann.
Okay, perfect.
I lost my meditation.
Looks good. Oh, wait. No, I can't.
All right, well,
No, I cannot see.
I'll remember.
No, I cannot see.
Okay.
I got
So
it.
for the meditation, we're mostly going to be having our eyes closed, so it's good that it's a little dark.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to all settle into your seats or sit on the ground. Make sure that your feet are firmly on the ground. And we're going to take some slow, deep breaths. And the way I want you to breathe, the best way to breathe for meditation is perfect timing. Okay. Someone's just arrived, we'll just let her settle in. While we're waiting, I'm gonna teach you how to breathe for meditation. You want to take deep breaths, and you want to breathe into your abdomen and let the breath fill your torso from the abdomen up. You want to breathe in and out. You have two ways of doing it. You can do the yoga prana breathing, which is in and out your nose, breathing in, inhaling in and exhaling out through your nose. You can do regular breathing, inhaling in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Some people have real problems. They have to mouth breathe. If you have sinus issues, by all means, the breath is more important. Breathe. Breathe in and out through your mouth if you need to. But the key here is to breathe deep and slow. Once you've filled with the air, hold it for a moment. And then slowly, even slower than the inhale, you exhale. Ideally, you would exhale twice as long as you take the inhale. This helps, the exhale is actually what calms you. The inhale stimulates and opens the mind and gets it ready, and the exhale calms the nervous system. So the longer that exhale is, the calmer you'll be. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths. In through the nose. Hold it, and exhale. Now close your eyes. Continue to breathe deeply. And while you're breathing, picture yourself on the shore of a lake, all misty with fog, so dense you can't see much beyond the shore. As you stare at the water, it starts to ripple towards you. Suddenly, the bow of a boat breaks through the mists. The oarsman, shrouded in gray, brings it to a stop right in front of you and signals you to get on board. As soon as you are seated in the boat, it sets sail silently into the mists. Again, the fog is so dense you can hardly see your hand in front of your face. You settle into your seat and feel the rhythms of the water against the boat and the gentle breeze. Now the mists start to dissipate. You can see the shoreline. There is someone there waiting to greet you. You may know them, or you may not know them. As the boat docks They signal you to come ashore and greet you warmly. They lead you down a garden path surrounded with flowers and greenery, lush and in full bloom. Finally, you walk through a vine-covered archway into the center of the goddess's apple grove. All the trees have apples on them in all stages of growth. Seeds, buds, flowers, green apples. Apples ripened, red, green, and gold. They are all in this grove, all at once. Your guide tells you to pick an apple and sit with it in your hands under a tree. Now think of who of your beloved dead you would like to reach out to. Say their names and think. Think of what, if anything, you would like to say to them and what you would like to know from them or hear from them. Just sit here for a while and contemplate. Quiet. And so now the time has come to return. Your guide has come to take you back to the shore. You offer the apple to your guide. You know you cannot eat it. This apple is not for the living. Your guide accepts the apple and leads you back to where the boat awaits you. As soon as you are seated, the boat again drifts away from the shore into the mists. The return is much quicker. In the blink of an eye, you are back at shore. You disembark and thank the oarsman. He nods as he pushes off the shore and disappears back into the mists. Now, feel the ground firmly beneath your feet and slowly open your eyes. Now, if you were visited by whoever it is that you wanted to see, fine, but know that this is the beginning of the Samhain season. We have a week of veil being very thin. So it's quite possible if you didn't see them now, see them later in your dreams. You got a week for them to come and visit.
Yes. Thank you, very nice presentation, thank you. Does anyone want to use the restrooms or anything before we go on to the next part? Get these chairs out of the way a little bit. Okay, so folks, what I heard you saying is that for our ritual, our next part, we need the lights on for you to see well?
Go ahead and chat. Ann and Kimberly and Leah?
This is Anne. I can sort of see. It's still a little bit dark.
Okay, we'll turn the lights on. Is that better? Much better, I presume?
Yes, I can see. This is Anne.
Okay.
I need to see that.
So if you all gather quietly in circle, come forward. So we will start with our bard coming forward to tell us the story.
Everybody, to this sour night. The words I want to say, and we're on the circle, and what I gotta say. Let's see if it resonates, right? So, it's my breath that I settle first. In, out, traveling the raggedness on a day when things are heavy. Traveling, sometimes in short bursts, gives me enough oxygen to think, but not enough to feel. In and out, the one thing I can control, I try to let a longer exhalation move me into stillness, move me away from fear and anxiety. Tell my body to relax and let go. To be here, even now. I drop my thoughts from my mind into my heart, where I connect with my dead, with my beloved dead, with the mighty dead. I breathe and drop my thoughts into the deepest chambers, the ones that can carry and release beat by beat. I travel to the space of path and movement. In my mind's eye, I open to the journey that invites me forward and away, that allows and widens the crunchy leaves under our steps. From here to there, I allow, I trust, I surrender. I settle my steps until I am where I need to be, where you are maybe, where your scent still lives, where I can still feel your skin on mine. I relax into you, sometimes one of you, sometimes all of you, dropping back into your arms or your last words. I open, I hear. It might be minutes or hours. It might be a moment. What is time anyway? We dance together. We look deeply in each other's eyes and we know. We remember. We live together in this sacred space. I hear you tracing my skin with instructions, with reminders, with challenges, with love. I do not want to return, but I do. My eyes open, and I remember it all. You still live in me.
We gather here on the Feast of Samhain, the end and the beginning of the sacred year, the time of turning, of twilight, when the dark time begins. The fields lie empty, sinking into winter sleep. and our larders hold what gain we have reaped from our labors. As our forebears did, so do we now, and so may our descendants do in time. We are here to offer worship to the Lord of the house of the dead, and to the Queen of the phantoms, to the gods, the dead, and the city, and reverence to our honored dead here on this, their feast day.
In this season of change, we honor the holy dead as the ancients did, and seek the omen of the coming year when the veil between the worlds is thin. Now let us begin to open the ways between.
Josie, could you sweep your circle, please?
We sweep all negativity from the circle and ourselves. We release all negative thoughts. Within the circle, only positive energy lives. We are safe and guarded within this sacred space. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Walter, would you cast our circle, please?
The circle is cast round and round, from earth to sky, from sky to ground. We conjure now in the sacred place, outside of time and outside of space. As we are now between the worlds, the circle is cast, so mote it be.
So mote it be. We often call in the quarters without much thought behind it. We're used to doing it, we just do it. Tonight, during each quarter call, let us try to feel a sense of that element. Gravity, a breeze, heat, and moisture can all be felt when the elementals make themselves known to us. Once the quarter is invited, we will wait for a few heartbeats for them to arrive before moving on. And then I will signal for the next quarter to be called. Let us now begin in the east.
To the watchtower of the east and the elements of air, we call upon your wisdom and summon your energy for clear communication with spirits divine, knowledge and understand them. Welcome and blessed be.
Welcome and blessed be.
Amen. Blessed be.
To the watchtowers of the south and the elements of fire, we call upon your wisdom and summon your energy for purification of mind, body, spirit, and the harvest. We ask for your divine protection over all things that we bring forth this night. Welcome and blessed be.
Welcome and blessed be.
To the watchtowers of the west and the elements of water, we call upon your wisdom and summon your energy of examination for our path and progress, for our personal introspections and our spiritual evolution. Welcome and blessed be.
Welcome and blessed be.
To the watchtowers of the north, the elements of earth, we call upon your wisdom and summon your energy and your love to witness the celebration of this passing year. The Samhain blessing is a state in union of spirit
and welcome and blessed be.
Welcome and blessed be.
Let us begin.
The moon is bright, the crone is old, the body is lifeless, the bones so cold. We all live, play, and pay our dues. To die in ones, threes, and twos. Death, dance, and play the harp, pierce in silence in the dark. The woman's old with withered limbs, death beckons her to dance with him.
As she accepts the gift of death, the earth is cooled with a ghostly breath, to lie in dormancy once more, to have her strength and life restored.
We will now begin to open the gates.
All ye spirits of those we have loved and still love, hearken to our call. We bid you join in our circle. Enter, enter, one and all. Come ye spirits of our dead, be you a spirit of plant or pet or human being, into this circle you are let. Speak to us of things unknown. Lend your energies to this rite. We gather here in your honor in this sacred time. We bid you in our circle, join.
Mighty gods of the summerlands, guardians of the beloved dead, we send forth love to those you keep. We bless those that have walked the path. That someday we as well shall rove. We offer peace unto their souls while resting in your arms they are.
Dark Mother, you come to us alone this night in mourning for your son, your consort. The God has departed to the underworld, and the wheel of the year follows him into darkness. Crone of the ages, we call upon you. Be with us this night. We take time to honor those we love, those who have gone before. In remembrance, let us speak their names.
Pastor.
Having called out the names of our beloved dead, Hecate, carriage wind, we bid you, guide the spirits of those we have named this night. They will always be with us in our hearts and thoughts.
Let us take a few minutes now to honor these we named. Think of how they touched your life, Feel their presence with you in this hallowed circle. This year has waxed with the fullness of life, and now wanes into shadow. May our spirits find their paths. Dark Mother, ancient and enduring one, guide us, watch over us, and our loved ones, here and departed. We stand at this gateway with you and thank you for the gifts of restoration and renewal. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessings upon the spirits of the Summerlands. We humbly thank you for your presence in our circle and honor you in celebration this night. In your honor, we ask you, God of the underworld, keeper of the sacred dead, to embrace once again those souls within your keep. Grant them safe passage to the Summerlands, where they may rest peacefully in your strength until they are refreshed and born again. In your honor.
In your honor.
We bid thee all a fond farewell. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Thus is the circle of rebirth, but through the love of the goddess, we are all Thus is the circle of rebirth, but through the love of the goddess we are all reborn. In the cycles of nature, through the cosmic plane. In living, we die. In dying, we live. In the mystery of life, death, and rebirth, the circle ever turns.
The sun conceived in darkness, cold, in the shadow of death. A light unfolds, a shred of light begins to burn. From death comes life, the circle turns. We thank the goddesses for being with us this night. Blessings and farewell.
Blessings and farewell.
We dismiss the spirits and the elements with love and respect. Be in peace until we meet again. We dismiss the spirits, the elements with love and respect. Be in peace until we meet again.
The circle we cast round and round, from earth to sky, from sky to ground. We now close the sacred space, outside of time and outside of space, and return to the mundane world, taking the lessons we have learned tonight with us. The circle is closed.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Let's feast.
Thank you, everyone online. We hope you enjoyed our presentation tonight and were able to hear and see well. We will see
Yes.
everyone next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and a very safe Samhain.
You also see.